The Xbox Series X is an extremely impressive console and a must-own for those with an extensive library of Xbox titles. Its raw power and innovative features such as quick resume make it feel light years ahead in terms of quality from where the Xbox One was at its launch. However, if you're looking for experiences to show off the power of the next generation, you may be found wanting, as a glaring lack of first-party exclusives make this the ideal console for someone who's already on Team Green, but is unlikely to convert anyone to their side. The Xbox Series X feels like the result of a generation's worth of humility. After the largely toxic response to the Xbox One, Microsoft had to do some serious soul searching to start off this generation on such a confident foot. Ironically, in some ways, the Xbox Series X takes great advantage of many of the ideas that caused so many to so violently turn against their last system, while other elements like its sheer raw power aim to end the conversation of which version of a game is better to play. The glaring downside at launch is the complete lack of games that can be played exclusively on Xbox Series X. System seller Halo Infinite's delay into an unknown region of 2021 leaves the system rather shortchanged. While Microsoft can boast that it has the highest number of playable games at launch with Xbox, Xbox 360 and Xbox One titles supported, there's nothing yet that shows off the real power of the system's 12 teraflops. Of course, something the Xbox Series X does have is Game Pass, Microsoft's subscription service which provides users with hundreds of games off the bat for around £10 a month. This is a fantastic deal, especially with every Xbox first-party title coming to the service on launch day. A factor that will only swing things more in their direction is the acquisition of Bethesda, the developers of The Elder Scrolls and Fallout. Launch titles include Yakuza Like a Dragon, Dirt 5, as well as some updates to existing Xbox titles such as Gears 5 and Forza Horizon 4. Yakuza is dripping with personality as per usual, but in a break with tradition, Like a Dragon adopts an RPG-style combat system rather than its typical third-person beat-em-up roots. The game has a few visual options, and while none of them will absolutely stun you, Kamurocho at night looks fantastic while running at 4K. Gears 5 is probably the game I'd recommend early adopters try first. Even if you've played through it before, there's now a new Game Plus mode that replaces Marcus Phoenix with Dave Bautista. No, you didn't hear me wrong. Gears Tactics, a strategy game previously exclusive to the PC, makes its console debut and the transition is smooth, the controls map well to a controller, and the game's loading times are impeccable, a feature of most of the launch titles. Ori and the Will of the Wisp was already one of the best looking games of the last generation, and on Xbox Series X it shines. Clever platforming mixed with heartstring yanking storytelling is an essential play for anyone that missed it. Series X also supports 120 frames per second here if you have the tech to display it, but even at 4K 60, it's a marvel. So what actually differentiates this generation of Xbox? Well, for me it's two words: quick resume. This feature enables you to swap between up to 5 games on the fly, picking up exactly where you left off. When it works, it feels like magic. Are you deep in a mission in Gears 5 but remember you have to turn in your daily login for NBA 2K21? Just swap to NBA using Quick Resume and it'll hold your spot in Gears 5 exactly where you left off. Another impressive feature in my opinion is the internal SSD hard drive. Essentially this means that things like loading times are significantly reduced. This also has a massive effect on backwards compatible titles. Immense loads like The Outer Worlds and The Witcher 3 are reduced to brief pauses in the action. It's very impressive. The benefits enjoyed by backwards compatible games extends to a significant frame rate improvement, with some 360 and OG Xbox titles frame rates literally doubling. The SSD is fantastic, but sadly it's only 1TB, and that fills up quickly. While backwards compatible games can be played from an external USB 3.0 storage system, Xbox Series X games must be installed on the SSD. This is expandable via Seagate's memory cards, but they're extremely expensive. One solution is to use a USB 3.0 drive as cold storage, moving games you'd like to play back and forth. This is a bit of a pain, but it's necessary when game installs are only getting larger. Looking at you, Modern Warfare. If you're currently using an Xbox, the UI is going to feel extremely familiar, as disappointingly Microsoft has stuck with the current menu interface used by the last generation of Xbox. While the UI itself is fine, it's fast and it's much better than the Xbox One's original effort, it's a bit disappointing to plug in your new box and not be dazzled with a completely new feeling menu. It's a small thing, but it contributes to the feeling that more than ever Microsoft want to homogenise the Xbox ecosystem. Much like when the iPads dropped the numbering convention and just became iPad, this is a similar step in that direction. The box itself is an obelisk of sheer black accented with green paint on the inside vent at the top. This is certainly a departure from the last generation, but I like the way that it looks on my desk. It's certainly large, but that's a theme across both of the next generation consoles, where the Xbox is actually the shorter of the two. A common refrain from the previous generation was how loud consoles could be. Certainly in the case of the PlayStation 4, it often sounded like it was about to take off from my desk and enter orbit around Mars. So I'm extremely happy to say that the Xbox Series X is very, very quiet. I'd often forget it was even on when stepping away from my desk, and even after long sessions it didn't burst a lung. Heat-wise, the machine certainly gets warmer than the Xbox One X, but not so hot that I worried about it. The Xbox Series X is designed to bring cold air up from the bottom of the system through all of the internals and then expel warm air out of the top. The controller isn't all that different from what you'll currently use on an Xbox One, save for the addition of a share button and a circular D-pad. I found the share button very responsive, and its positioning at the centre of the controller made me more likely to engage with the feature. The Xbox Series X feels like a console that won't be relegated to my secondary machine like its predecessor was last generation. Microsoft has had to swallow a lot of humble pie in order to make the strides they have since the fiasco of 2013, but in doing so they began the generation with a very confident system. The technology is excellent, and it is pound for pound more powerful than its direct rival, although how much that will matter as the generation proceeds, we're yet to see. Features like quick resume and the SSD aided load times make the entire process of using an Xbox Series X smooth and easy. The time between turning the thing on and being in a game has never been shorter. The backwards compatibility efforts also mean that it serves as the console of record for every generation of Microsoft's titles, an element that is sorely lacking on the PlayStation 5. Unfortunately, Halo Infinite's delay and nothing in its stead make the system at times feel like it's turned up too early for the dance. While your third-party games are going to look and play great here, there's nothing you can point to and say I can only play this on my Xbox Series X. How much that will actually matter to early adopters I predict is minimal, but for me is what's stopping the Xbox Series X being an absolute must-play at launch.
Come on, time to face the music.
Thanks for watching this review, and if you enjoyed it, be sure to check out another on BBC The Social as we begin this next generation in gaming. Until next time, I'm Jordan Midler. See you later.